start out with providing the council with the FAA circular. And Tom, I wanted you to, these are the three structures. You can see the lat long locations, and there's the maps to go through. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask me, and then contact information is on the, we should be.
Okay.
And if you have any, you can review that later.
Perfect.
Have any questions on that?
Thank you.
Okay. And then we had an outage this last week. I'm sorry if any of you were affected. It was an underground circuit that was out between, I think it was 5:42, and then was restored around 9:42. The crews went out.
Earlier than that.
Was it earlier? Okay, good.
Restored earlier, yeah.
They had 487 customers out. It was in the area between Aliso and Solid Canyon. They were able to find the location. Sometimes underground is a lot more difficult to find, especially after dark. So they were able to locate it, restore the power, and then they actually made repairs the next day. So you might have been out a little bit in the morning at 5 o'clock. They were out there trying to get that restored and repaired. So there will be some maintenance on the structure 7 area, hydro seeding on structure 9. We've got a little bit of road widening near the substation. And then we are going to be removing the bird deterrents by a conventional helicopter on structure 9, 10, and 11. And they'll be coming in tomorrow. So this should be quick and easy. Those bird deterrents were to prevent birds from nesting on the structures while we were working on them. So they're like buoy balls, is what they call them. So they'll be taking those off, and we're really winding down. Things are, as you notice, the yard's being cleaned up, and a lot of things are removed from those locations. Our office is in off Santiago Canyon right now. That's working out really well for us. So, if you need to contact us for any other updates, you're welcome to. And right now, we're still keeping the emails going out on Thursday for construction updates, and you're always welcome to join that. But that's our best resource for up-to-date information. So, thank you.
Town council members, my name is Ed Horovits, and my partner is Matt Stowe. We are the two principals in RDS Partners Inc., the developer for this project. We have specialized in retail commercial development in Southern California for over 25 years. We met with Mike Hughes about 3 months ago to briefly discuss our plans, and on March 16th, we came here to meet with the town council to present our project and get input and direction on how to better this development. We're currently under contract to purchase the entire 2.6 acres from Panda Express. The retail site for this Rite Aid will be developed on about 1.5 acres. We have met with County Land Use Department and are not asking for a variance on any required item. Not on parking, density, signage, building height, setbacks, or landscaping. In fact, we're proposing the site have approximately 22% landscape area, which is more than twice the standard requirement for a commercial development. We have read and understand Acton's development community standards. And we've incorporated those standards into the building design and throughout the site. We have addressed building elevations by designing a western frontier look with features in natural earth tone colors. The landscaping will use native drought-resistant plants, shrubs, and trees with natural rock planters and drip irrigation to meet or exceed all state and county water conservation standards. Site amenities will include an equestrian hitching and rest area with drinking water facilities. An equestrian trail will be constructed by the project to tie in access to the north and the south of this property. All building and site lighting fixtures will be in a western frontier style similar to those that are in this parking lot. We'll have a community public notice board area for exclusive use by Acton service organizations to post notices, meeting dates, and general public information. We are proposing a new ground-up 10,500 square foot Rite Aid building, which is 40% smaller in size than their standard 17,400 square foot building. We are proposing a single drive-through lane with no menu boards, no speaker systems, and no overhead canopy trellis or structure. There will be no use of the drive-through for any customers unless their prescription has been previously called in at this store. No general merchandise whatsoever can be purchased in the drive-through. The California-wide average number of cars for the largest Rite Aid at the drive-through is typically 3 to 4 cars per hour. This compares to a typical fast food restaurant in Southern California with 30 to 35 cars per hour. The primary sole use for this drive-through is for the elderly and mothers with sick children who need their prescriptions filled and would find it inconvenient to park the car, go into the store, and use that. It is important to note, we ask, that the overwhelming majority of customers for this new location will come from Acton town residents, not freeway drivers passing by. A large Acton customer base now drives over 10 miles each way to shop at the Palmdale Rite Aid location. The average traffic count at Highway 14 in Crown Valley Road is approximately 93,000 cars per day. Only 3.5% of that traffic, approximately 3,200 cars per day, uses the off-ramp in front of that site. There was a significant concern about the amount of traffic, the number of people exiting the freeway just for that use, and wanted to provide that data. This new store, we believe, will fill a vital need in the local Acton area. It will employ 20 to 25 new employees at above minimum wage with health insurance benefits, and we believe a boost to the local economy. We are here tonight to review the major components of development, and most importantly, seeking Acton's comments, questions, and support for the project. I appreciate your time and consideration for being here this evening, and I'm here to answer any questions, comments, or concerns I may have about the project. If I could just take 1 minute to show on these two boards, we brought current site plan, landscape plan, and building elevations. The site again is approximately 1.5 acres, 10,500 square foot building. The equestrian and hitching area and water facilities are here with access off the new equestrian trail connecting the north and the south side. We're proposing no pylon sign and a minimum to code 5-foot monument sign. The building elevations, as you can see, there's 4-sided elevations. The major storefront area will be facing north of Crown Valley Road. And again, the pickup window for the drive-through has no major overhang or canopy. There is simply a drive-through window for pickup. I'm available now for council or open it up to the audience, whichever. Yes, ma'am.
Will you be selling alcohol?
We are going in for conditional use permit for the right to sell alcohol.
And if you don't get your conditional use permit, will you open the store anyway?
It is possible, please understand, Matt and I are the developers. Rite Aid is the tenant. We have not signed an agreement yet with Rite Aid because they need conditional approval. Once we go through the county planning department and through the liquor process, if that license isn't obtained, it is possible they wouldn't move forward. But that is certainly what we will attempt to do, is try and get a conditional use permit for the sale of alcohol.
You say that you're an Acton-based, you're going to be an Acton-based business. We have approximately 10 to 11,000 people, right, Lillian? Maybe a little more.
About 12,000. Yes, ma'am.
How do you think that's going to support that kind of a store? We have 2 pharmacies at this point, and they're just making it.
Yes, ma'am. And for the audience and the council was discussed last time, we're not privy to the details. We don't do the negotiating. But currently, there's the pharmacist that's in ongoing negotiations with Rite Aid to purchase that business. Again, we're not privy to the details, and we never are, but often that's what happens, that they're made an offer, and apparently those negotiations are moving forward positively by both the existing pharmacy and pharmacist and Rite Aid.
Well, I'd like to see someone from Rite Aid that could actually answer those questions, because those are huge questions to be answered. How do you expect? We don't have the kind of population that's going to support a store like that. How do you expect? And you can't answer it, obviously, but I'm sure that's a big concern to the people here. It's got to be by freeway traffic.
Yeah, if I can just interject a little bit. And obviously, once someone comes and proposes a business such as this, and then the community starts to get involved out here, and they become very involved in things like this. And right now, we've received on the website, I can say at least 5 to 8 emails. Everyone's against it. Everyone wants to protect the smaller things. This is a much larger store, not for Rite Aid size, but for Acton size. And we just went through this 2 weeks ago with another store that wanted to come in, and there's just really no support for this type of business. And I haven't seen one person come up to me and say that they think it's a good idea. I mean, there may be out there, but I'm just being honest with you before you get clobbered.
We didn't anticipate an awful lot, but I can try and answer that question by saying Rite Aid Corporation has 3,000 stores nationwide. They would not be putting the commitment of almost $3 million into a store they didn't think was going to succeed. And as a developer, I'm not interested in spending a significant amount to purchase the land and put a lease and take a construction loan out and go forward if Rite Aid didn't believe they were going to do their sales. So I understand the concern.
We're going to take some other
Yes,
questions.
yes, ma'am.
As a longtime resident, I don't think I speak just for myself when I say that I moved here for this lifestyle. And the fact that I can go down to Sand Canyon if it's after hours in Crown Valley Pharmacy or the market is closed and I need some emergent thing. That's not the end of the world. That's the lifestyle that I and many others chose. And one of the things is that's always been a location that many businesses have wanted to come in. And the other wonderful thing that many of us enjoy about this town, there's no traffic signals. And we have a junior high school there that's in and out all day. We have Argo, and we have traffic coming out the freeway. So my concern is, what's the status where they'd say, oh, now we need a traffic signal because this is dangerous. Has anyone done any research on that or anything like that? And you can say, I understand where Rite Aid is coming from as a business, but to say that you're going to just serve the Acton community and people coming by at 14 are not going to stop, I think is pretty naive.
I'm not suggesting they're going to stop, but if anyone can look up those same traffic numbers, and I'm happy to send a website to the board. Only 3% of the traffic right now is getting off that exit.
Well, just to make a quick comment on that, though, you're saying 96,000 cars daily?
About 92.
92. So 3% of that is almost the number of households in the entire town of Acton.
About 3,200 cars a day get off on that off ramp.
Yeah, that's pretty close to, I think, how many households we have. So it's already a congested type.
Well, it's 3,200 cars.
So it could be even more than that. But yeah, we have about 3,200 houses here.
Understand.
So I'm saying it's already a congested, off ramp the way it sits. So we're already pulling more traffic than I think Acton wants to pull off the freeway.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
It's a very dangerous area under the freeway. It's narrow, there's signs that block view, there's been bad accidents. My son almost got killed there. I have to definitely insist or attempt to, at least if this does go through, that gets all redone and widened and made safe, because it's dangerous. Even with
Understand.
this little bit that there is, it's not a safe little spot
They
there.
typically do, to answer your question about the traffic signal, a complete traffic study has not been done yet.
But that's
Okay.
not gonna help, because the off-ramp is a stop sign there. That's where the problem is. And that will just make it, with the school and everything, it'll just be even more dangerous. And the traffic signal would be further down, and I don't, so anyway, yeah, I know you think that might help, maybe it would, but that's my concern. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You say that you're in negotiations with Rite Aid. And I would just like to ask if you could facilitate them coming here and speaking to us so we can get the answers
Yes.
that you can't answer. I'm not concerned with their survival because obviously they spend millions of dollars in research before they start. But we have active markets here that are fighting for survival, and those are the ones I'm concerned with. Could you
Understand.
facilitate something like that before the town council took it under consideration?
We will certainly get back to Rite Aid tomorrow morning, their local real estate rep. We talk to them all the time, and I don't think that would be an issue. We'll certainly have to ask them to do that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes, ma'am.
sorry, did you say if they don't get the CUP for the alcohol, that they probably won't open it?
We don't know the answer to answer your
That's
question.
very
I do not
important.
know, and I'm not sure until they get that evaluation, they're gonna know. They're either gonna make that decision once they get it or not. But right now, they need to move forward with the CUP for that. Yes, ma'am.
Well, you are the developers and you want to build a building, which is one thing. But it seems like Rite Aid is hiding behind you guys and not presenting themselves in their intention.
Exactly.
Because it's not the issue of any building. It could be small businesses, it could be a corner mini market, mini mall right there. But what kind of businesses? We already have 2 active pharmacies in Acton that will be very negatively impacted. We have 4 markets, 2 little mini supermarkets, and 2 that are liquor store markets that will be negatively impacted. And so will even the gas stations be negatively impacted. You all sell all the same things.
Understand. The reason Rite Aid doesn't come to these meetings initially is the number of store openings they have all over town. As far as us coming in, it is always the developer's role, and I've been doing this for 25 years. I've never initially had the tenant come to town meetings, because the deal is not a done deal. So we attempt to try and get town input, commentary, and if what we're asking for is Rite Aid to come in, I don't think that's going to be an issue, and I think they'll be happy to do so. But I just want you to know that that's not the way the process works. The developer takes on initially to get into contract for the land, is willing to evaluate whether or not it makes sense for us to do it and make the commitment, and then Rite Aid is the tenant. Yes, sir.
Rite Aid is not fessing up to what they're planning to do.
Well, they're,
They have one in Palmdale and they have one in Santa Clarita, which are
Right.
both reachable within 10-15 minutes.
understand. And if they didn't think they were going to do sales out of here from the local community, I promise you they wouldn't be making the financial commitment, but I'll have them
They
address
don't
that.
care about the existing businesses.
Yes, sir.
I've been in this town for almost 23 years, and
Excuse me.
we ride our horses around everywhere. And you guys are going to go ahead and put a Rite Aid pharmacy right next to a school where our children go to school and sell liquor. That's one. Number 2, be damned if I'm going to be riding my horses now with the amount of traffic, whether what you want to say or not is true, but I guarantee you there's going to be a lot more traffic going by Rite Aid and going off from the freeway for whatever reason it is, with alcohol or whatever it is. And that's going to cause a lot of people that have horses in this town. And I'm not one of them, and I know a lot of them. Number 3, sir, I've got close to 1,000 signatures here that say we don't want Rite Aid. We do not want Rite Aid. You're enthralled with this development because you have a financial interest. It's well respected. We're all here for one reason or another. My point is that you seem like the messenger boy. You need to take it back to the people at Rite Aid. That almost 1,000 signatures of 8,000 to 10,000 people that live in this town. We came here for a reason. We we understand we're not against going ahead and having development, but we certainly want to keep it at a minimum, and we damn well don't want to have chain stores. Lady said there's... Lady says there's pharmacies in this town. There's people that have owned grocery stores. There's other people that are selling sundries. You, right up in front of everybody, said you have incorporated our standards.
Yes.
Sir, you have not incorporated our standards. That is not our... I was courtesy enough to listen to you. Please have the courtesy to listen to me. You are not incorporating our standards, sir. You will shut down 2 pharmacies. You will probably close a lot of small owned businesses in this town, and you will make a lot of people very upset with Rite Aid. You think we're going to go ahead and patronize you?
No.
I damn well certain, sir. I won't, and I've been here almost 23 years. My voice is pretty well, very well loudly heard with a lot of cowboys.
Okay.
Couple statements. You say you're going to bring in jobs, and people have hit on this. The jobs you're going to bring in are the jobs that we'll already lose because you want to come in. So you're not bringing anything to the community, you're only hurting it.
What do you mean you were to lose the jobs? Can you help me
Well,
understand that?
if you open a store and businesses start having to shut down because Rite Aid's here, we're gonna have to shut down our businesses. Okay. 2, the people going to Palmdale, instead of fighting all that traffic that they've been fighting it from LA all the way up, are gonna stop here because it's easier.
And that's where
There's not that much traffic here. Okay, 3, you said you're gonna incorporate 22% of landscaping. We have 100% of landscaping already there. That's natural landscape. You can't copy that.
Right.
What are you gonna give us?
Nothing.
Hopefully a store that people
No.
need and can
No,
use.
we don't need it.
We don't want it. We don't want it.
We don't want it. People have to hold. We moved up here for a reason. We're okay going to Palmdale or going to Santa Cruz when we need something. That's the life we chose. You guys need to understand that. Why do you want to come here? You're not welcome. You're not wanted. You're not.
Let me just say something here too, is that he is here doing a presentation, and you know, we want to be respectful to him. We have our options and such, and he will bring back the message to Rite Aid. But there is some separation between Rite Aid and this gentleman, obviously. And
That's the problem,
everyone-
there's a separation.
everyone,
We don't know, he doesn't know.
I
he's gonna
understand that. Let me
facilitate.
finish though. There is separation, and I just want to tell you all, I do what this man does. Okay, I go out and I buy property and I develop, and you know, I can ask him a couple of questions here, and he stands to make a lot of money, but he also is risking a lot of money, because if Rite Aid does come in and they shut down, no one believed Walmart would close some stores, but they did. This man will be sitting with an empty building for a long, long time. So us bringing our opinions to him and telling him what's going on, then he'll understand it better. But, and real quick, what's the cap value you think? Do you guys hold your property long-term, or do you flip them?
We've sold 1 property since we've been in the business.
And that's been how many years?
21 as a RDS partner.
So you build them, you hold them long-term, and what do you think Acton, because it is such a closed type of business and community, you put that store in here and there's nothing else around it for competition, are you at a 3 cap?
No, no way.
5?
6.5, maybe 7, 6.5.
So
No.
you'll recoup all
You're
your
selling
money.
3 caps in downtown, LA, Orange County, Newport, there's no.
Well, Rite Aid's a good tenant, so you can
Yes.
lower your caps on there. But
Trains friendly, what's that mean, caps?
a cap value,
Capitalized value.
a real quick education is that if you own a house or a piece of property and you rent it for $100,000 a year, you know, 9,000 or 10,000 with 120, your cap value is your return on your investment. So out of that 120,000, if 20,000 is his taxes, insurance, and he's going to actually charge Rite Aid for all of that. So he'll net $100,000. And when you take that 100,000 and the cap value is the percent return that he could sell it for. So if he says it's 5.5, take 100,000, divide it by 5.5, maybe it's worth $4 or $5 million. And as the cap value goes down, the sale price goes up. So he could spend $2 million to build this building. Rite Aid moves in, it's now revalued. He goes ahead and refinances. He'll pull out all of his investment money, put another $1 million or so in his pocket, and then he can hold it long term. So it's a great business, it's a great business plan. If he's been doing it 25 years, I'm sure he's not a poor man, but he also realizes if that building goes empty, all bets are off. So right now, I can say that I don't think there's any person in this room, let alone an Acton, that's going to support a Rite Aid.
I think I'm in a very unique position because I own Acton Pharmacy, which is the other pharmacy in town.
Yes,
But I can categorically say I am not in any kind of connection, communication with Rite Aid. Also, I have worked for Rite Aid. I worked as a manager for them over 5 years, and so I understand the philosophy of the corporation. It's very nice for you to say how aesthetically pleasing the building would be, but at the end of the day, it's the corporation and the mentality that is going to determine whether this community feels that they are being treated the way they need to be.
But it's just under 3 acres, and you're saying that there would still be 1.1 acres still undeveloped after you did the Rite Aid.
Yes, ma'am.
So my concern is, what would you, as a developer, that's prime land, I know that, so what would you be doing or planning with that? Because it's not going to sit dormant after you purchase.
I don't have a single use for that acreage if the Rite Aid went in. None. It hasn't been developed in all this time, and if the Rite Aid went forward, I think there's a significantly even smaller chance that anybody's going to go behind a Rite Aid of a retailer and put value to that dirt. That's my opinion after 25 years in this business.
Okay. Not sure I agree with that, but I
Understand.
understand. It's too valuable a piece not to.
But if it wasn't been developed by now.
Well, it's because this community, it's because the community has fought tooth and nail to keep up when Panda had it, you know, with the Starbucks and everything else that they wanted to put in there. We fought tooth and nail. We didn't want 5 drive-throughs right off the freeway by our junior high. So it wasn't appropriate, and we said at that time, if they developed it and put 2 things there or something more reasonable, the community probably wouldn't have fought it the way that we did. It was too many drive-throughs.
I personally think after seeing that site plan a couple months ago, it's nothing I would have ever proposed.
Exactly. And
I'm not saying that to support the Rite Aid, just not something I ever proposed. It's not the corner for 3 drive-throughs.
there was
In
more
my
than
opinion.
that.
This is not the corner for this.
So that concerns me, that there's still land that could be developed.
Time will tell, my opinion, after they're doing this business and all in Southern California, and typically all of our stuff is off freeway ramps. If this went in on a 3-acre site and it takes up 1.5 acres of it, you're not going to get anybody else back there that's a national retailer or even a local.
Why not a local? I'm not understanding that.
The capital involved to put that
Yeah.
facility up versus the
Okay.
return, it's a fairly straightforward, math. What it would cost them to put that facility up in place, operating versus what the returns are at that off-ramp, they'll all see the same demographics we see. They'll all see the same traffic counts we see. They're all available on the net.
And that was the other question that I had, was 93,000 cars. You didn't obviously do a traffic study, but you've got those numbers from somewhere.
Yes,
Because I've
ma'am.
never heard that number before.
92,000 ADT. I can refer you to the website.
Okay.
Stuff's all available on site. It's public information. They typically do traffic counts up to once a year, sometimes twice a year. So just about any corner you could put your finger on in California, they know what the traffic counts are.
Awesome. Thank you. I'd like that information.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody else? Yes, sir?
You said that you looked at Rite Aid. When the last developer was there, I tried talking about a homegrown business for Acton, a restaurant. They wouldn't even talk to me because I wasn't a national chain. Is that the same genre that you're following, that it has to be a national chain?
No, sir, not at all.
So,
Not at all. But I don't know that today, and if they're out there, I'll leave business cards. I'm happy to talk to them. I can tell you that I own restaurants, and to put the capital improvements in and the cost to run one, the returns, they're going to look at the demographics. They're going to see what the average income is. They're going to estimate the number of sales they're going to do and look at those returns. So that's why my feeling is it'd be tough to try and get somebody ever behind if the Rite Aid went in.
Well, we appreciate your honesty, and I'm sure you appreciate everyone else's honesty here.
Absolutely.
You know, it's all a process that takes place. And like I said, I've done this, I still do it, just not in my own backyard. So,
I understand.
the bigger cities usually are a lot more open to this. And in all honesty, you were here 2 meetings ago, and in the previous meeting, I had just mentioned if the town was interested, and we're kind of going forward with it, is actually having, because your construction is within our ordinances that we've got, but there is the sentiment of the town that can't be put into writing, but you can feel it. It's pretty thick. And we're actually looking at changing our ordinances now to not allow any corporate owners with more than 2 locations, possibly. Also, no formula businesses, more or less in the way that Solvang went years ago. And with that said, it may be a race to the finish line for your development and our ordinance change. So.
May I ask the town council if I'm able to get something from Rite Aid, can we schedule an agenda time for the next meeting?
Absolutely.
And I'll get back to you by email
We
if we're able to do that.
are open, we let everyone come in and speak, we don't do any restrictions. The one thing you did say though, and is this not a correct monument sign?
No, sir, we originally proposed, that was a pylon sign, we originally proposed that, and it pulled that off the request to do.
Okay.
The only signage outside of the 2 that are on the building, non-illuminated, would be the monument sign. And I think it was a 5-foot high requirement, maximum, whatever that requirement is, what the monuments have adhered to.
I have a question. I believe that
Yes.
package with that sign came in after the initial information you gave. We just received that about a week ago or so.
Right, we couldn't upload it because there wasn't enough availability. We tried twice to upload it, and then we spoke to you all, and it uploaded everything.
Right, but that sign is taller and it's not the monument sign that you showed us there. So we got the site plan with the monument sign, and then this came after.
Right, and if you'll notice, the previous site plan we had a location for a pylon sign. We've removed it off the site plan, we remove it off the request.
Okay. Can I ask you to do a favor and look at the documents I put up on our website and tell us which ones we need are current? Because we have 2 sets that we received from you.
I think they're both except, but yes, Tom, I will absolutely look at that. and get
Because
you
one
email.
shows the signage on all 3 or 4 sides of the building.
Correct, and if you notice on these, based on the commentary we had from the last meeting, and your municipal, not your municipal, but your standards, we've only put it on the 2 sides that were facilitated in the code.
Okay, I just want to make sure I have the correct information on.
Fair enough.
One more question?
No, I
Yes,
just
sir.
want to show of hands of who doesn't want it in this town. Okay, there's your answer. Everybody doesn't want this town. It's not our kind of business for this town. I have a pharmacy here too, okay? And they have a pharmacy. We have invested our lives and our work at it. And to come in and blow everybody out or lose our employees, they'll lose our job, they'll send them running for Rite Aid. What's that do? This is a local, small town. That's why we love it. We don't have corporate stuff up here, as you're finding out. We don't need it, we don't want it. That's not what Acton stands for, that's why I love Acton. It's a small town, and we want to keep it that way. We don't want that traffic. We don't want the high school kids, and junior high school kids at risk. Suppose somebody comes in, has a bottle in the car, drinks and hits them. It's not a good idea. So I, as a pharmacist, and as a human being, as a person that loves this town, absolutely does not want anything to do with this. I'd rather see the land stand vacant for 100 years. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Rite Aid has said that they are in negotiations
Yeah, one of
with
the
a
pharmacies.
pharmacist.
We got
Which
the 2
pharmacist?
pharmacists here.
Are they on?
Obviously, it's not.
It's not
No.
me.
Okay, so they lied right there.
They have guys around cards.
We'll be happy to get you the information.
Well, we
I liked it.
And
We'd like to know that, we actually work there.
All I can do is get you all the information, and I can tell
Do
you
you
that we're
have
not
the
lying about
person's
it.
name right now?
I'm not part of those negotiations, we don't negotiate any of that. We're,
All right, I think we've all spoken our piece, he's given us the new information. I think the next step would be if we could get Rite Aid in here to answer the questions that,
And make sure that they know the answers to the questions that we have.
well, I don't think anyone
Because
here
it's
is
a
going to
waste
change
of
the
our
law,
time.
so. All right, I appreciate it.
thanks, appreciate that.
As you may not know, or you may know that Sharon Senator Runner was elected on March 19th.
Yes.
And since then, she's just now starting her staff. She's in Sacramento. She's getting up to speed. She was just appointed to the Education Committee last week. And I understand she was appointed to another committee today. I haven't got that information yet. So, I mean, as new senators come online, they're appointed to committees, but her main focus is to get back out to the community by using field representatives and/or herself. So if she can't come, this is what I do. So I will attend as many meetings as I can up here. You know me well. I'm active. I'm a community leader in Lancaster and been very involved. I've lived here all of my life. I'm 63 years old. I've lived in the Antelope Valley for 63 years, so I understand where you're coming from, and I just enjoy being here. So if you have any comments, I gave you my card. Please feel free to email me anything that you want for the center to hear.
Absolutely, we do appreciate having a liaison where we can have contact and get a hold of people. Okay. The Bob Crossman letter, we're going to push this off until the council has time to read it over and discuss it in the future. Next meeting, and I have no idea what this is about. At first I had heard about it, but it's called the Los Angeles Regional Interoperable Communication System. And this is a new system for communication between law enforcement, emergency vehicles, fire department, and it's going to be going in, so I imagine it's going to have some sort of a location of towers and such here. They will be here at our next meeting to speak.
Didn't they just stop that, bring it to a halt because of concerns at the fire stations about?
Yeah, it was originally, it was stopped, and the Board of Supervisors put a halt to it, but they are going back at a smaller scale and reapplying back to the federal government to do a more strategic look at it instead of the broad base that they were doing before. So it's a smaller scale operation that they're trying to look at.
So
the whole idea is so it improves the communication between all the first responders, whether it be the sheriff's department, the fire department, the forestry, whoever uses it, so they just have better communication.
Wasn't there one planned for Station 81 in Agua Dulce?
If I recall correctly, of the large database that I got, yes, I think you're right.
Is there going to be another one in Acton, at the Acton Fire Station?
I think so.
So it's an infrastructure project?
But the smaller scale may not have more than just one maybe in an area. So that's why you need to have the folks come up, and that's what they're asking for us to come up with.
We're going to have a speaker next time. I'll go come up and fill in all the blanks for us.
Thanks, Norm.
Sure.
The yard sale ordinance, this has been redrafted. We haven't had time to read it over, but I think that as the council, we need to have a stance letter to either agree or disagree. So maybe.
And they also want to come out and talk to the town council, so they're going to be getting in contact with you.
About the yard ordinances?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, and I'll wait for their email to come back.
So is the redraft now online?
I'm sorry?
Is the redraft now online?
Yep.
Okay. Great.
Okay. We have had 3 individuals now send in letters wanting to fill the seats, or the vacant seat that we have here on the council. So I'm going to ask that everyone review the letters. I'm going to send them out to everyone, and maybe next meeting we can make a decision, either move forward and fill the seat.
Yeah.
Now that we do have 3 names.
Put it out, yeah, we should put it in early.
I believe it's been running continuously, hasn't it?
Another letter.
Request
But there was a
Yes.
person at my place today talking about this, so I think you better do some little advertising for it, so that they know that it's going to be on the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay, I'll put the agenda out early.
Can we introduce Kelly tonight?
Is Kelly here tonight?
Yes, she is.
Oh, Kelly. Kelly, and that's the newest letter that came out. I think you had sent the letter
Actually,
to.
do a letter. Mike just asked me and I responded to.
Responded.
Yeah.
Well, would you like to say a few words about what you think? No.
You can do it, Kelly,
I don't
come
like
on.
to be put on the spot, I'm kind of shy.
Okay, Kelly. Well, I'll tell you what.
Who are the other?
Yeah.
Who are the other two?
So maybe you'll prepare a short paragraph for next meeting. You can come up and let us. The 2 other was Mike Hanlon from the previous council, and there was one other who.
Mike England recently
He has not reapplied. His letter has just been considered not. Yeah. Well, again. The other person was Edward Ham, who goes by Ted. He lives in Aliso Canyon.
That's my neighbor.
Oh, okay. So we can contact everyone.
Are you here tonight, Ted? No.
No, Ted. But that's just one of the items that I think we probably are ready to address now.
So is it all right to announce that these 3 people are being considered?
Yes.
Okay.
What meeting is that?
May 4th, the May 4th meeting.
Well, I think for the next meeting, Lillian, for our next meeting, we should have these 3 people prepared to talk to us and the community with statements. So can we ask for that, Lillian, in the paper?
Well, it's just 3 individuals. I don't think we need to put that up there. I think we should just run the ad requesting for more people, and you can say that these 3 are going to be considered at the next meeting. But
Is that all you
we'll
want?
contact them individually and send them an email saying, can you prepare something?
Okay, either way.
So you're going to contact
We're
them
gonna
and ask
contact
them for a prepared speech? You don't want me to do that?
No, that just seems a little too impersonal to put out in the paper for 3 people to come here with a paragraph. I'll call them individually and send them.
I think you should do that anyway.
Kelly, do you need the announcement in the paper for you to prepare a paragraph?
Or anyone else who may be interested as well.
Whoever came to see Ray today.
Yeah, so.
But if they're in the paper, you can say if there's anyone else, wanting to come into the seat, they should prepare 1 paragraph.
Last chance.
Last
kind of thing.
chance, come on in, and we'll put that on the agenda for the next meeting. I'll just do a quick update on the 501c4 corporation. Since Michael's not here, I am in the loop on that. It is progressing going forward. I believe that Michael's hammering out the last part of the bylaws with the corporation, and we should be filing for that shortly. On the liability insurance issue, we finally did get a quote back that would include the officers, and it was quite expensive. It was $7,000. So
A year?
A year. And that was based on all of the officers, and the thing that I've been trying to hash over it in my mind, and I really am now thinking a little differently, that we can get it for the corporation, and since we are all now going to be members of the corporation as the council, we do have a corporate val over us for protection also. So since the council itself really doesn't own anything, if anyone was to sue us, they wouldn't get anything. So it may be a different route that we'll take. I did find another broker who said there was an insurance company that contacted him last week, and they're specifically only doing non-for-profit organizations. So we'll get a few more quotes in. There's not a deadline for us, and might as well take the time before we go spending needless money. Now the committee reports, we're going to start right off with Pam Wolter, because I think she's got the most to talk about.
Okay,
High-speed rail.
and I'm not doing that.
You're not.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
I can't.
And we're hearing fine.
I'm not good with microphones and whatever. So, we've got a lot going on in this next coming week with the high-speed rail. This coming Saturday, which is the 25th at 9:30 a.m., there's another working community workshop that the High-Speed Rail Authority is coming back to Acton to talk to us like they did a couple, 6 weeks ago, whenever it was.
A few months
2 months ago.
Okay. So they're coming back. This is supposed to be the town councils and leaders of the community, but we have talked quite a bit that we feel like whoever in the community wants to come should be coming, okay?
Where's it at?
Acton Elementary School on Crown Valley Road, 9:30 in the back in the auditorium, little auditorium, okay? So that's Saturday at 9:30. Because of our fundraising efforts in town here, we've been able to spend a little money doing some things that we, as a committee, decided was appropriate. We've made these signs. They go on an H kind of holder thing, metal. We're going to put these out late Friday afternoon so that the High-Speed Rail Authority can see them when they come to town.
Yay.
Okay, they're on double sides, so, and then we will be using these again in our promotions around the communities.
Excuse me, how do you get them? I could put one in the pharmacy in the window.
Okay, I'll bring you one.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'll bring you one.
Thank
That's
you
awesome.
very much.
Thank you. T-shirts? We don't have money for t-shirts yet.
all packed away.
Timmy gave out t-shirts at one point in
Oh,
time
yeah.
when she was
There
here.
wasn't that many. Anyway, so I'm gonna need some help Friday afternoon putting up some of these signs. We've got 50, I don't necessarily need to put 50 on Crown Valley Road, but maybe if somebody could take 5 or 6 of them and go around, and so that the High-Speed Rail Authority, when they come to town, they see us again.
Am I wrong? We're kind of having a tour and that deal.
We're not doing the tour on
They're
Saturday.
not, okay, okay.
Because Michelle will not be here on Saturday, Michelle Bowen. So we've got engineers coming, and we've got information that they're telling us they're coming with new information. We don't know exactly what it is. Yes, sir.
Pam, do you have a method to secure that to the easels that you're gonna have them on? Otherwise, winds come up and
Well,
they'll be over.
The wire frame goes in the bottom like this, so they've got to sit pretty low to the ground, or you're right, the wind is going to knock them out of place. So this is a new thing, we're going to try. Yes, ma'am.
Where are you meeting to help you? If somebody wants to come help, where would they?
Probably at my office, and I'll put it on the Facebook page. I'm right next to Dr. Johnson and the pizza place and the tack shop.
What time are you going to do it?
I was thinking around 3:30 or 4. I want to get the kids, the school buses gone and all of that first, because there's always people, so many parents and everything. So we're just around 4 o'clock on Friday. Yeah.
I'd like to put some on Angela's Forest Highway.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We got them, and
Good.
we got them locally. Ventura Graphics did it for us.
Great.
So I was really happy, and he's getting me the metal frames also. Okay, so then Monday, April 27th at 7 o'clock, Santa Clarita Coalition is doing their big rally. It's at Canyon High School, and get there early or you won't get a place to sit or park.
What time does it start?
7 o'clock.
7?
And we've had this in the Country Journal. We're putting it around town, several places. So we will, Sandy Madsen got some stickers today. So we want to identify ourselves as the Acton community there. We're going to all try to sit together as much as we can. We'll be looking for Acton people, find us. We're going to all try to sit together and maybe bring a couple of these, sneak these in.
Good idea.
We've kind of been told not to bring them, but we're going to sneak them in maybe anyway. Chris is laughing. We've been...
Not everyone has been told.
That's right. Thank you. Not everyone has been told to leave their signs at. So we're going to have...
Hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put that one on your chest. How you go around town.
I've been told.
Pam will have one too. So we're going to have little name tags of Tippy's design. They won't have people's names on them, but they're going to be in yellow with black like this. So if the media is there, they're going to see that Acton is well represented. That's our goal. So if you can make it, I'd appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Where is that going to be in Santa Clarita?
Canyon High School on White's Canyon.
Thank you.
White's Canyon and Nadell. And I don't think
It's at the... it's up at-
19300 Nadell Street. 7 o'clock, Monday, April 27th, but boy, I'd get there probably.
It's up at the top of, it's up at the top of White's Canyon, so if you turn on White's Canyon and you only go up a little bit, there is a school there, but that's the junior high school, you gotta keep going, and you'll catch the senior high school.
So we're gonna go and support Santa Clarita. They've started this new coalition, and it's Acton, Agua Dulce, San Fernando, and all the communities of Santa Clarita. And as I understand it, what Chris has told me, that Santa Clarita, the city offices have spent quite a bit of money getting the word out in advertising. I know that they sent out like 25,000 postcards to residents. So I don't know how we're going to fit in Canyon High School, but people will come and they need to know. And it's about education is what what we've been told. And of course, we are way more educated than Santa Clarita on all of this.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. And then today, we got this from Mike, who is, how do you say his last name? Bain? Mike Bain. He's the transportation manager. I'm sure you know him, Norm, from Palmdale. Behan.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got it now. He's City of Palmdale Public Works Department, Traffic Division. And he has put this out about what's going on with the high-speed rail. He said, right now we're doing these workshops. Sometime in May and June, between all the communities, they'll be coming back and they'll be doing their open house public meetings again, like we've had at the community club, what we've had at the junior high too. So they'll be back. Sometime in the summer of 2015, which I assume means June or July, the SAA will be brought out. And that's a supplemental, I'm going to say it so supplemental alternatives analysis, which is the precursor to the draft EIR. So it's important that we know what's going on with that. They're still saying, or now they're saying, the summer of 2016 is when the draft environmental document will come out, even though we were told it would be this year. I mean, this is printed right from...
When will they be identifying their preferred route? Is that with the SAA or
I believe
with
so.
the EIR? With the SAA?
With the SAA.
So that could be by midsummer.
Yep.
They have to report to the authority, the high-speed rail authority, and tell them which routes they recommend for the EIR investigation.
So they'll be identifying their preferred routes, but not the individual one yet. The individual one comes out in the EIR.
Right.
Well, they're probably going to recommend that they investigate several, and those several will be in the EIR.
Right, but in then the EIR is the one where they'll say we've investigated these routes and this is the preferred route.
If they can come to that conclusion, yes.
Okay.
So it's pretty interesting what's going to be going on, and we know that the High-Speed Rail Authority is going to have a board meeting where Michelle and this group from down here will be presenting. So we've got issues coming up soon. Yes, sir.
Will the presentation of preferred routes include also the elevation of the trains, whether it be above or underground?
Well, I would think so. I would assume so. But
I would too, but I hate to assume anything.
Well, they've given us elevations before, so I have to believe that is the case. Yes, ma'am.
It's a question. I read that Santa Clarita prefers the East Acton route, and I wanted to know if you or everyone here is okay with that. If we just want to keep it from going through Acton, or are you guys okay with it going through? I think that's the Angeles Forest route.
Well, let's clarify our position on that.
Just one, because that's what they're for, Santa Clarita.
Well, that's what they were for, specifically only that. And when they formed the coalition, there was a group from all the communities went down and spoke, and they were unaware, and we had to educate them that all three routes, no matter which one goes through Acton,
is going to hurt.
Or unacceptable.
And with that said, is we told them that our stance, and the only way for us to be part of that coalition and participate, is that they need to back us up in saying that the only way for it to avoid Acton, it needs to go further east and completely underground when it leaves Palmdale. And that's a stance, and they are drafting a letter right now with the stance of their coalition, and they have incorporated our request in there for that. So no one's getting thrown under the bus.
Yep. So, yes, Ray.
One of the things I just added to what she had here, I went to the forestry office over here. I did not have much luck. There was a man there, but he might have been talking to the wall. And so we did get a number to call the main office down below. And we made that phone call, and we didn't get any answer from that. They never had returned our call. And then we did talk to a man that did some of the studies in this area for the archaeological sites. And but he was going to come past the ranch on last Friday and he never showed up. So I'll try to get a hold of him again tomorrow and see if we can't get some more information from him where everything is up in the air as far as the reports coming back from them. They don't know where they're going at this time. And I thought that we were supposed to meet with them this next Saturday, but evidently they don't.
No, because Michelle Bone is not available, and so we are planning, or they've told us that we will have a tour of Acton that will include Michelle, the engineers, and hopefully Dan Richard. So that is in the works. We've been talking to them a lot about it. We want Mr. Richard here, and we want Michelle included in that tour. Yes.
Who's Mr. Richard? I know I've heard the name, but explain.
CEO.
Oh, okay. Of High Speed Rail?
Authority.
Ah, okay.
Sorry, I should have said that.
No, that's okay.
And the last thing on my agenda for tonight is we've talked about doing a float in the 4th of July parade, just because it educates more people. We have thousands of people that come to the parade, and we've never done a float for the high-speed rail. So if anybody's got any great ideas or they're willing to volunteer, I can't build a float by myself.
Plastered with those signs.
Keep it on
That's
Acton.
right. There you go. Plaster with float with those signs.
I would appreciate volunteers, and whoever can help on Friday at 4, that'd be great. Meet at my office and we'll put up some of these, and if you want this sign, sir, you can have this one.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Okay.
I was the same we had 2 weeks ago.
Which is?
Disappointed in everyone.
We have like 27 subscribers, so we know we can do a lot better than that.
What is it?
Website.
The Acton Town Council website.
Thank you,
What's
Norm.
the address?
ActonTownCouncil.org.
No. Easy.
Great oaks from little acorns grow, so just keep it up. This takes time.
And our Facebook page is getting attention too, so we're working on it.
Oh, one more request. If you are subscribed and the newsletter comes to you, even if you don't want to read it or you've seen all the information in there already, please just click on it to open it, because that sends a feedback back to the site, and I know your address is good, and I know it's getting to you.
So I'm expecting everyone here just to get 2 people to sign
That's
up.
it. Tell your friends and
I just
neighbors.
signed up.
Did you sign up?
She just,
And what about Victoria?
go Carrie.
I'll get her.
There you go. Okay, since Michael Hughes and a lot of our other updates are not here, Catherine, anything on illegal dumping?
No.
Okay. Women's Club, ma'am?
Yes. What did Sandy tell me? Okay. The Women's Club Scholarship Luncheon is May 20th. And again, this year they're putting out 5 scholarships for $1,200 a piece. So it's pretty awesome what the Acton Women's Club does repeatedly each year.
Absolutely.
And the tickets go very, very fast. So if you're even interested, they're $25 a piece, and you should get a hold of Sandy or